Yeah, sure.
Where were you when you heard the news? What were you doing?
I was at home and I heard the explosion.
You were here? Or?
No, I live in I don't live here. Ashafi.
And you heard the explosion?
Yeah.
And then?
A year or so ago, I was maybe half a kilometer away from Wissam al-Hassan's death. It was a similar type of reverberation in the apartment. I knew that there was either a car bombing or I assumed it was an assassination. But I did not go to the news right away to check who died. And I knew that I would find out anyway. So I decided literally just to go back to the book I was reading, and I wanted to, in a way, zone out from what was happening. It's a familiar pattern. When I lived in Hamra, Walid Aidu was killed in Manara, just up the hill. I heard that one. I've been around too many explosions. I was very close to Samir Asir's death in Ashrafi in 2005. I knew it was I assumed it was an assassination, but I did not put my father on that list. No.
And then?
Well, my intercom was buzzing. Buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. I was reading in bed. A friend of mine started knocking on the door, and I thought she was having relationship problems. She was crying. And she came inside, full of tears, and I didn't know what to say to comfort her, so I said, "Sit down, I'm sure he's a jerk. Don't listen to him." And I realized these were not relationship tears. This was something very dramatic. And then she asked me if I had seen the news. I said no. And I told her, but I did hear an explosion. This was maybe 15, 20 minutes after. Around that, yeah. And she sat me down and she said, "Don't see the news, call your mom." And I said, "Why would I call my mom about this?" And then I started thinking, oh, and I grabbed my phone. She didn't let me look at my phone. I tried to turn the TV on. She was turning the TV off. I started screaming at her. And I said, "I need to know what happened." Went back to my phone. I left the apartment. Went on the news and saw my dad's name. And I broke down.